fellow gamers, welcome back to the channel. Today we are continuing our trek through the Arkham Horror the card game Investigator starter decks. This is video number 4, and this is Harvey Walters, and he is a seeker. Check him out back here. Harvey Walters, the professor. Draw cards rapidly and use your expanded hand size to solve arcane mysteries. Okay, expanded hand size. I like that idea. All right, let's see what we got here. We got the usual art piece. And a heavy explanation. Little backstory, how to use the expansion, starter deck, upgrading, yada yada yada, artwork. Okay, let's break into it. All right, come on guys, give me a hand here. There we go. All right, we got his mini card. There's all Harvey. And his main card. All right, he has 4 willpower. He has 5 intellect, only 1 combat, and 2 agility. As a reaction trigger, after an investigator at your location draws 1 or more cards from their deck during the investigation phase, that investigator draws 1 card. Then once per round, and your Elder Sign effect is +1 and draw 1 card. He's a 7 and an 8, so pretty damn good. Pretty darn good for an old geezer. All right, let's double check the back. Deck building. He has Vaults of Knowledge, Thrice Damned Curiosity, and 1 Random Base Weakness, which we're going to go over right now anyway. So we have Vault of Knowledge. It's a 3-cost asset. It's a willpower, it's an agility, and a wild. Harvey Walters deck only. Your maximum hand size is increased by 2, like that. As a reaction trigger, after you successfully investigate, exhaust Vault of Knowledge and choose an investigator at your location. That investigator draws 1 card. And the bad. Thrice Damned Curiosity, Treachery, Weakness, Flaw, Revelation. For every 3 cards in your hand, take 1 damage. You know, there's always got to be a catch. Okay, the other bad guy, we have Obsessive, Treachery, Basic Weakness, Flaw. Revelation, put Obsessive into play in your threat area. Forced, when your turn begins, discard 1 non-weakness card at random from your hand. And you can do a double action to discard Obsessive. All right, Arcane Enlightenment. It's a 2-cost asset with double willpower. It's a ritual. Your maximum hand size is increased by 1. You have 1 additional hand slot, which can only be used to hold a tome asset. Signal Fragments, Book of Books, 1-cost asset. While you have 5 or more cards in your hand, you get +1 intellect. 10 or more cards in your hand, you get +1 willpower. And 15 or more cards in your hand, you get +1 intellect again. Okay, shouldn't have been both. I would like to have seen that. All right, Disc of Zamna. It's a protective amulet. It's a 3-cost asset. As a reaction trigger, when a non-elite enemy spawns at your location, discard Disc of Zamna. Automatically evade that enemy or deal it 2 damage. Cyclopedia, we've seen it before, 2-cost asset with a wild. 5 secrets, action, exhaust encyclopedia, spend 1 secret. Choose an investigator at your location. That investigator gets +2 to a skill of your choice until the end of the phase. Feed the Mind, 3-cost asset. It's a spell, uses 3 secrets, action, exhaust Feed the Mind and spend 1 secret. Test Intellect 1. For each point you succeed by to a maximum of 3, draw 1 card. Forbidden Tome. It's a 1-cost asset with a wild. Uses 5 secrets. Action, exhaust Forbidden Tome and spend 1 secret. Draw 1 card. Then if you have 10 or more cards in your hand and there are no secrets on Forbidden Tome, you may discard it to record in the campaign log you have translated the tome. That's kind of cool. I like that. A little something on the side to do. Okay, higher education, 0-cost asset with a willpower and an intellect. Now, while you have 5 or more cards in your hand, higher education gains. It's a free trigger, and you can spend a resource, and you'll get a +1 either willpower or intellect. Laboratory assistant, +2 asset with an intellect. It's ally. Your maximum hand size is increased by 2. As a reaction trigger, after laboratory assistant enters play, draw 2 cards, and she has a 1 health and a 2 sanity. All right, woohoo! Look at that, mama. Winton Green, hunter of rare books, Indiana Jonesa. Got a 4-cost asset with a intellect. While you control a tome or relic asset, you gain +1 intellect. As a reaction trigger, after you reveal a location or put a new location into play, exhaust Winton Green. Search the top 6 cards of your deck for a tome or relic asset and draw it. Shuffle your deck. She gets 2 health and 2 sanity. All right, Burning the Midnight Oil. It's a 0-cost event with an intellect and an agility. Investigate. When this action begins, gain 2 resources. Next, we have Cryptic Writings, like the artwork. 0-cost event with a double intellect. Gain 2 resources. As a reaction trigger, after you draw Cryptic Writings during your turn, play it. Next, we got Extensive Research. It's a 12-cost event with a double intellect. Reduce the cost to play Extensive Research by 1 for each other card in your hand. Discover 2 clues at your location. Okay. That's the highest one ever. It's a 2-cost event. This is a Cult Invocation. There's a combat and an intellect. As an additional cost to play a Cult Invocation, discard up to 2 cards from your hand. Fight. This attack uses intellect instead of combat. You get +1 intellect and deal +1 damage for this attack for each card discarded as part of the card's cost. All right, we have Preposterous Sketches. It's a +2 event with a willpower and an intellect. Play only if there is a clue on your location and draw 3 cards. That I like. Lots of cards in this man's deck. Deduction, skill, intellect. If this skill test is successful while investigating a location, discover 1 additional clue at your location. And of course, we've seen that before. Library Docent. It's a 1-cost 1-pip asset with an intellect and an agility. As a reaction trigger, after Library Docent enters play, return a tome asset you control to its owner's hand. Play a different tome asset by title from your hand, reducing its cost by 2. She has 1 health and 2 sanity. Glimpse the Unthinkable. It's a 0-cost 1-pip. 2 intellect, draw 1 card, shuffle any number of non-weakness cards from your hand into your deck, then draw that many cards. Esoteric Atlas. It's a 3-cost 2-pip. It's a willpower and an agility. Uses 4 secrets. Action, spend 1 secret, choose a revealed location up to 3 connections away from your location and move to that location. I like that one too. That's pretty neat. There she is again, upgraded Winton Green. It's a 4-cost 2-pip. And while you control a tome or relic asset, you get +1 willpower and +1 intellect. As a reaction trigger, after you reveal a location or put a new location into play, exhaust Winton Green. Search the top 9 cards of your deck for a tome or relic asset, draw it, shuffle your deck. And she has a 2 and a 3. 2 health, 3 sanity. We got upgraded Cryptic Writings, 0-cost 2-pip, intellect and a wild. Gain 3 resources, 4 resources instead, if you have 10 or more cards in your hand. As a reaction trigger, after you drop cryptic writings during your turn, play it. I've got a plan. Ooh, that's a nice plan. It's 2 cost, 2 pip, 2 intellect, 1 combat. Fight. This attack uses intellect instead of combat. You get +2 intellect for this test. You deal +1 damage for this attack. And for each clue you have, for a maximum of 3 damage. Zzz. Mind over matter. We've seen this. It's an upgraded 1 cost, 2 pip event. It's a combat, agility, and a wild. Fast. Play during your turn until the end of your round. You may add your intellect to your combat and agility and draw 1 card. Seeking Answers. 1 cost, 2 pip event. Has an intellect, 2 agility. Investigate. If you succeed, discover 2 total clues from among your location and connecting locations. Chorus Perception. This one's a 2 pip skill. It's got 3 intellect, max 1 committed per test. If this test is successful, draw 1 card, 2 cards instead if it is successful by 2 or more. Forbidden Tomb upgrade, a 1 cost, 3 pip. We have willpower, combat, and a wild. You can only include this asset in your deck by upgrading it from Forbidden Tome untranslated, because this is Forbidden Tome Dark Knowledge. And only if you have translated the tome in your campaign log. For 4 actions, exhaust Forbidden Tome, move 1 damage from a player card at your location to an enemy at your location, reduce this ability's cost by 1 action for every 4 cards in your hand to a minimum of 1. Okay, there, like that there. Forbidden Tome Secrets Revealed. We have a intellect and agility and a wild. You can only include this asset in your deck by upgrading from Forbidden Tome untranslated, and only if you have translated the tome in your campaign log. 4 actions, exhaust Forbidden Tome. You may move to a connecting location, discover 1 clue at your location, reduce this ability's cost by 1 action for every 4 cards in your hand to a minimum of 1 action. Farsight. It's a 2 cost, 4 pip. And it's a willpower and a wild asset. As a free trigger during your turn, if you have 8 or more cards in your hand, exhaust Farsight, play an event from your hand, paying its cost. Okay, last one, Miskatonic Archaeology Funding, 4 cost asset. Permanent, limit 1 per deck. You have 2 additional ally slots, which can only be used to hold Miskatonic assets. Forced, when you take damage or horror, no more than 1 of that damage or horror can be assigned to a Miskatonic asset. Oh no, this is the last one. Sorry. The Necronomicon. We got a 3 cost, 5 pip asset with 5 intellect. Uses 6 secrets, limit 1 per deck. As a free action, spend 1 secret, you get +2 value for the skill test. 2 secrets, you draw 2 cards. 3 secrets, you discover 1 clue at any location. Or 4 secrets, you deal 3 damage to an enemy engaged with you. All right. Love it, love it, love it. All right, guys, that is Harvey Walters. And if you enjoyed the video, please thumbs down. If you hated the video, please thumb down and leave a hate comment. I appreciate any and all hate comments. Have a great day.